Hello and welcome. My name is Yolana Wassersag. I'm Assistant Registrar Student Recruitment here at the University of King's College. And if you are logged in to watch this webinar right now, or perhaps you're watching a recording of it later, then you need to know that this session will be about what it's like to come to the University of King's College if you are an international student. And I will say I'm focusing mostly on our undergraduate programs right now. So if you are a grad student and you're looking at coming to King's, this session might not be as relevant to you, but please connect with us. You can email us at admissions@ukings.ca. So hopefully this will be a session that will be helpful and informative. It won't be too long. I'll give a little overview of the university, and I'll also invite a current student to join us and answer some questions. Okay. So here we are. This is the University of King's College Arts and Administration building. King's is a smaller university. In fact, it's one of the smallest in Atlantic Canada with a student population of just around 900. So we are a very close-knit community with students that know each other well, they know their professors well, and they know the staff that support them well. And that can be a really warm and welcoming environment, especially for international students. And we are right in the heart of Halifax, Nova Scotia. Halifax is a great city. It's not huge, but it is the second fastest growing city in Canada right now. So there is lots of vibrant culture and community. There's fantastic restaurants. There's nice shopping areas. What you're looking at right here is the beautiful downtown waterfront. This area on the waterfront is just a 15-minute walk from our campus. It's very easy to get around Halifax just walking. You don't need a car. And it's a really fun city to be a student. One of the reasons for that is there are a lot of university students in Halifax. We actually have 7 post-secondary institutions in the city, and over 50,000 students from around the world in our community. So if you're looking for a city that is full of life, full of excitement, lots going on, Halifax is a great place to come. So we offer 4 kinds of degrees at King's. You can get a Bachelor of Arts, a Bachelor of Science, a Bachelor of Music, or a Bachelor of Journalism. I'm going to say a little bit more about all of those programs, but one thing that I'd like to point out is that many students who are coming to King's for their first degree will all do the same first-year program. So before they branch off into science or journalism or arts or music, many of our students spend their whole first year together, learning together. And that can be a wonderful way to start your degree. You can start in a smaller community before you begin and specialize in a particular program. This first year program is called Foundation Year Program, or FYP for short. And most King students just say FIP when they talk about it, FYP. So FIP is a great opportunity to be in nice small class sizes in your first year and make the transition from high school to university a little bit easier by being in a supportive environment. FIP is a program that's really built around books and ideas. So most students who are choosing to come to King's and who want to do this first year program will be students that love to read. If you're someone who loves to read, Foundation Year Program could be right for you. Our students read works of literature, philosophy, history, social sciences, and they learn about really important and influential thinkers, philosophers, scientists, and artists from the ancient world, from ancient times, all the way to the present day. So that's our first year program in a nutshell. After that, our students can take classes, like I said, in arts, sciences, journalism, and music. And a big piece of this will come through our relationship with Dalhousie. King's is next door to a larger university, Dalhousie University, and we share a lot of our programs with them. So it's very common for King students to spend most of their first year on our smaller campus. And then as they move into the second year, the third year, the fourth year of their degree, they might take more classes next door through Dalhousie, through the shared arts and social science faculty, through the shared faculty of science, or even in the Fountain School of Performing Arts, which is where the music and theater departments live. If you're a King student, you have access to all of the resources at Dalhousie as well. And that includes a health and wellness center, for example. So if you need to see a doctor or a nurse, the health and wellness center can support you. There's a large fitness center called the Dalplex Fitness Center that our students can use. There's different types of advising and accessibility centers. And one really important piece is the International Student Center. So for all international students, if you are looking for support with getting a study permit or any of the requirements that you need to enter Canada, the International Center will help you and guide you and support you in that process. Here's some pictures of our students at work. You can see science students in labs doing research, music students playing the piano, students in small discussion groups with their professors. That's a particularly common way to learn on our campuses. If you are, especially in arts and humanities programs, you'll be spending a lot of time in small classes. And that's also very true in our journalism school. King's is widely known for our journalism program. It's considered to be one of the top journalism schools in the country. And if you're going to be taking classes in arts or sciences through shared programs at Dalhousie, it's helpful to know that Dal is recognized across Canada as one of the top research institutions in the country. It's one of the U15 schools, so one of the top 15 research-based universities in Canada. If you're a King student, you're getting both. You're getting the best of Dalhousie and the best of King's, and being able to experience the best of both of those universities. Then there's also all the fun stuff that you do outside of your classes, joining clubs, student groups, maybe playing for a sports team. King's has a large theater society if you're someone who likes to perform. We have a dance collective. We have all sorts of activities where students can learn and work on campus. A really cool experiential learning program for students that want to have a part-time job while they study, that it will be, engaging and fun and teach them new skills. So there's a lot to do on our small campus. So I just want to mention a little bit about the International Center and the supports that they can give to international students. They can assist you with applying for a study permit, a work permit, or any questions that you have about immigration. And that would include any support that you need towards the end of your degree in applying for a postgraduate work permit. Another thing that you can do at the International Center is get involved in student orientation events, So when you first come to Canada, when you're getting settled in, they'll run orientation events that will help you get started. They also do social events, and they also have opportunities for you to practice your English language skills if English is not your first language. And another great thing that they offer is opportunities to study abroad. So if you'd like to come to Canada as a student, but also maybe spend one term or one semester in another country exploring and researching, you can do that through an exchange program or a study abroad. So the International Center provides a lot of really great support. So a little bit about the admissions process before we kind of open it up for a Q&A. Applying to King's is not complicated. There is an online application form, and for undergraduate students, a $65 application fee to apply. We definitely encourage you to apply before March 1st. Every student who applies before March 1st will be automatically assessed for general entrance scholarships. So March 1st is a really good deadline to keep in mind. But if you can't apply before March 1st, definitely get your application in before April 1st. April 1st is the final deadline for international students to apply. That gives you enough time to apply for a study permit before your classes would start in September. You must meet the general admission requirements for any program that you'd be applying for. So you need to meet the basic minimums for our arts, science, journalism, or music program. You might find that some of those programs have some additional steps that you need to take. Most of the time, we're just looking at your grades to make a decision about admissions. But for example, if you're applying to the music program, you'll also do a music audition as part of the application. If you're applying for the journalism program, you'll also submit a short piece of writing as part of the application. If you'd like to see what requirements we're looking for that are relevant to your home country, I recommend Googling DAL admission requirements by country. And if you look that up on Google or in any search engine, DAL admission requirements by country, you'll be able to see a list of all the different countries, lots of countries, and you'll be able to see what are the basic admission requirements that both Dalhousie and King's would accept. And finally, you might have to submit your English language proficiency test scores as part of your application process. You don't need to do this if you already speak English as your first language, and you don't need to do this if you've already been studying at a school where English is the main language spoken for at least 3 years. But if that's not the case, then we would like to see your English language proficiency test scores. And you can see here our minimum entry score in all sorts of different types of test categories, the TOEFL, the IELTS, the Duolingo English test, and several other tests that we accept. So if you've already written one of these tests and you can submit your scores and you plan to apply, that's wonderful. If you haven't already written one, you may be required to as part of the admissions process. If you have any questions about that at all, you can reach us at admissions@ukings.ca. So now I'd just like to introduce you to a student of ours. We had 2 students who are going to join us today. Only one of our students is here right now for this session. Unfortunately, there was an unexpected circumstance. So I'm going to introduce you to Narissa. Narissa is a 4th-year student at King's and is currently working on getting a Bachelor of Arts combined honors in classics and philosophy. And the 2 of us will answer any questions that you have. So hi, Narissa. Thank you so much for coming along. So I had some questions I wanted to ask you about your experience as a student that I think might be helpful for any international student that's thinking of coming to King's. First of all, can you tell me a little bit about why you chose to come to King's?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Joanna, for like sharing your the presentation. So the first reason why I chose King's is because how welcoming the recruiting teams were at King's, because I attended the university fair on the Vancouver Island, and walking around the booth, I was able to talk to the King's registrar office staff, and she was extremely welcoming. I have multiple questions that I trying to understand. Okay, so I never heard of this university before. It's located on the other side of the country. I'm not sure where this city is. I have many questions regarding to the program, the cities, the student like living life, and however, she was extremely excited and willing to answer my questions, and then compared to other university booths, they are very busy, so they were not able to answer my questions as fully and or as I expected to the answers that I expected. So after that, I start my applying process with the recruiter. So after the university fair, I will still have many questions come up along the way of my application. So every time when I asking questions, I always get back immediately. So this make me feel extremely being supported. So, and then I was able to learn more about foundation year program, which I ended up taking as part of my degree. So this program is, like Joanna shared, we have a big lecture that is taught by different professors in their professional field. Also, we'll have the chance to talk every day after the big lecture in a small group session, which have about like 12 students. So these 12 students were able to stuck together as a group for a whole year. So this is a great chance for you to really get to know each other and get to know your professor, your tutor, also your professor teaching some of the lectures in foundation year program. So I think I did the right choice coming to King's, because I know I will be supported by not only professors and recruitment office and tutors, but also the people who are living on campus. So yeah, I hope this is a sufficient, I don't know, answer. Let me know if you need more.
Yeah, that's a great answer to the question. Do you mind if I ask about what you think about Halifax? When you were living in Vancouver before you came to Halifax, did you have any kind of reactions to Halifax? What do you think it's like to be a student in this city?
For sure. So just a small correction. I was living on an island, like a really small town, but we were able to like go to Vancouver often, I would say. So I have the experience like living in a really small city, also in a very busy big city. And then after my high school, I was thinking, I don't really want to be in a extremely large and big city where I find difficult making friends. So, and also I don't want to stay in a small town where my high school was, where there's only one big shopping center and you have to walk 30 minutes to get there from campus. So after learning more about Halifax and actually coming here, like you and I shared, everything is within your walking distance. I'm not joking. Everything is within walking distance, especially if you're full-time students, you have the UPass, where make it even more accessible if you want to go somewhere further, like Dartmouth or Ferris Lake, for example. If you want to go hiking, you will get there with your bus ticket, which is free. So there's many shopping centers around, big superstores, student like nightlife, I would say, and there's many restaurants, very good restaurants, like really near your campus. So if you bored of eating in a dining hall on campus, you can just go with your friend for another like 10 minutes walk max, 2 minutes walk max, and you'll be able to reach a really nice restaurant in downtown, and you're able to have fun and then go home, do your homework, have your life without being distracted.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I love Halifax. I think it's a great city. And I agree that there's great restaurants here. It's like a good foodie city, which wasn't true when I was a kid, but it's changed over time. And you mentioned the UPass as well. So every student that comes to King's gets a transit pass to be able to use all of the buses. So another question that I wanted to ask you was about applying for study permits. I know that you were already you were an international student already in Canada in high school. Can you say a little bit of what the process was like, and if there were any challenges that you encountered that you think people should know about if they're going to be coming as an international student?
For sure. I came to Canada when I was 14, and then my first study permit lasted about 3 years. So I have to renew it before I graduate from high school. So if you are an international student already studying in Canada, I would recommend you to talk to your international student center in your high school, and they will help you fully, because if you renew your student permit, it's really easy process. You just give them your current study certificate, and then if you're applying for university, you give them the application, and then you provide the immigration office with your sorry, what's the letter, like admission letter?
Yeah, your official letter of acceptance.
Yes, that letter. So then, which will indicate how many years of study you will continue being in Canada. So for my renewed student permit, they covered my whole 4 years of my undergraduate study in Canada here. So I don't need to do any additional application while I'm studying as an undergraduate student in university. Yes.
That's great. Yeah. And I will just mention again, I said this briefly during my presentation, but applying for a study permit is an important part of the process for every international student. That's one of the reasons that the deadlines that I pointed out are really important. So if you are an international student, it's important to apply to King's by April 1st, so that you have plenty of time to complete a study permit application before classes begin in September.
And just sorry,
So
do you mind if I add on to your point?
mm,
If it's your first time applying for a study permit while you're in university, you probably, for larger chance, to renew it while you're still being an undergraduate student here. So as Joanna pointed out, International Student Center at Dalhousie, they're extremely supportive. Send them emails while your student permit is about to expire, and they will help you. They will provide additional information that you needed, include documents and bank account details, anything that you need. They will give you a list and they will follow up with you for additional information.
perfect. Thank you. Yes, I agree with all of that. It's definitely a good idea to reach out to the International Center. Can I ask, when you first started coming to King's, did you live in residence on our campus?
Actually, I did. I
Okay.
not only lived on on the campus in my first year, I lived up to my third year of university studies. So I lived on Andrews Roost,
Mm,
which is not a common residence that you will get when you're a first year student. So normally you have the bay room or the shared
Hall.
Alex Hall, yeah, where you have a room or share with someone else. So either one, you will have your own closet, you have your own small fridge, and your own bookcase, like with a table and a chair, of course. So in my first year, I was lucky because my year was actually before COVID, so I have these sort of complete on-campus life, first year undergraduate life, without being interrupted by COVID, which I find is really lucky because you really your roommate, possibly for a larger chance, for a greater chance, 99% will be in the same program with you. So you were able to talk to them about, okay, what's the lecture today? What's in your small discussion group? And you're able to go to a Wardy to study, where they have a student-run cafe, I would say. They provide food during the day and become a pub during the night. Of course, you can't drink under 18 here, but you're able to have fun. It's on campus. It's really safe. And also on campus, we have so many different activities. And we have a classic in the quad every year, and where there's a theater students, they will perform a classical play, and you're able to sit in the quad, enjoy with your friend, and have some hot chocolate alongside alongside you enjoyment.
Absolutely. Yeah, life in residence can be a really good experience. And you mentioned, having a roommate as well. There are some single rooms in our residences, but a lot of our rooms are doubles. So it's very common especially if you're in your first year, to have a roommate when you live on campus. And that can be a really good experience. The residence application form will ask a lot of very specific questions about each individual so that we can match people up with a roommate that's a right fit for them. And also the residence buildings are really nice. This picture that's behind me right now is of Alexandra Hall, which is our largest residence building. So it's quite nice.
Which they just made the renovation.
Yes.
Which will be the accessible residence.
Exactly.
Next year.
Yeah, it's been recently renovated, so it's really very lovely. All right, so we've touched on a little bit about what it was like to come here, what it's like to live in residence. Uh, and I was just wondering if you could say a little bit about what you like to do on campus for fun. You already mentioned LaGuardia, but I know that you've had part-time jobs on campus before, you're involved in different kinds of student life activities. Would you mind talking a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. I was a bit quiet in my first year, so I didn't, which I regret, I didn't attend as many society and clubs as I should have, because that's really a chance for you to know more people and really build your friendship with someone else, which I strongly recommend. Just in your first year, just challenge yourself. It's okay. Everyone's so supportive. They're so friendly. Don't be afraid of your, I don't know, your language, because that's something helped me a lot in my first year, because English is not my first language. And I got scared for what if I make mistake in class, and what if I say something that people make fun of. But it's not the case on King's. It's like people are really will help you if you're in need. And just this environment, this community, this shared community, it's really something that supported me even till now, almost graduating. But recent years, these past 2 years, I've been closely involved with a new program started in the first year I joined, called the King's Experiential Learning Program, which, as many people know, that Bachelor of Arts might not provide a co-op experience like many engineer students they get at Dalhousie. It's not part of their degree. However, King's, they provided us, the King students, with this opportunity that you are able to gain professional experience that will develop your professional skills. And one of the program that they provide underneath this big experiential learning program is the called Liberal Arts Passport to Innovation program, which I also attended last year. So this is a free non-credit course, and includes 6 online modules and 6 group coaching sessions. So the students, they get together with a professional, and we're able to talk and learn to how to edit your resume and create a LinkedIn profile. So these are really crucial programs, as I see, because I'm graduating very soon, and I would really like this experience that I would possibly not get if you're a Dalhousie student studying arts or humanities degree. So right now I'm on campus working with Books by Heart, which is the humanity innovative program working with healthcare. So we're answering this question called, can books save life? So as you can see, as being a King student, you're really being opened up to so many multiple experiences that you might not expect it to get to become a humanities student, for example, because I never thought being a humanities student learning classics and philosophy would have the opportunity to work with such an innovative program, which actually I am working with them and really creating a positive impact to the community around us.
That's so great. I'm very excited for you when I first heard from you that you are getting involved in the experiential learning program. And it's really nice that you're building those skills that you can put on your resume that will help you with applying for different jobs or for your career in the future. So I think we'll just wrap it up soon. And I just wanted to ask you one last question before we go, which is, do you have one piece of advice you'd want to give to an international student? If you can think back maybe to how you felt when you were in high school and were facing all of these big decisions, what would be one piece of advice that you wish somebody gave you?
I would give myself, my old self, also everyone coming to King's, coming to undergraduate studies, I would say being an international student there's many challenges, as you'd imagine. Cultural barriers, language barriers. However, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't feel bad when you said something that later on you think, oh, maybe you should have said something else. And don't prevent yourself doing something you think it will benefit you because you think, I'm only international students. I can't be able to compare to the local students who already have these really great experiences. So put yourself out there, and which King's is so supportive. Don't be afraid. That's why a smaller community is so crucial at this stage, at my stage when I was a first year, because they showed me that making mistakes is fine. Everyone else will do the same. It's not only you. So don't worry if you say something wrong and you think, oh, I think I offended someone, but I'm not sure. So it's okay. Because everyone will understand and they will embrace the diversity, especially that on campus, and they will support you as you go as a student. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was great advice. Something that everyone needs to hear, I think, about not being nervous about trying new things and making mistakes. So I really want to thank you so much for your time. I'll just say a few little closing words before we wrap up. The experience that different international students will have could be it could be a different experience depending on where you're coming from, whether you've visited Canada before, what program you're doing. The admission requirements could differ. So my best piece of advice for any student that's thinking of coming to King's is reach out to us personally, reach out to us directly, let us know how we can help you. admissions@ukings.ca is the general email address that you can use to reach the admissions team, myself, or any of my colleagues. Admissions@ukings.ca. So please do reach out. We'd be very happy to help. And if you have any questions at all, you can always connect with us. I just want to thank you all for your time, for watching this video or tuning in for this webinar. And Narissa, I especially want to thank you so much for being part of this and for sharing your experience, your journey, your story. So with that, we'll sign off. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Anna. Bye.